Cleveland just exploded, and it wasn't because of a buzzer beater or a last-second touchdown. No, this was different. Live on TV, Mary Kay Kitt dropped a bombshell that had the Browns' locker room buzzing all night. She demanded that Shedeur Sanders replace Dillon Gabriel immediately. And the reaction from head coach Kevin Stefanski? Pure rage. You could see it in his face. Every twitch, every flinch said more than any press conference answer ever could. This wasn't just sports drama. This was a statement, a declaration that the status quo wasn't cutting it anymore. Here's the thing. Dillon Gabriel came into this game with high expectations. Fans, analysts, and even casual viewers thought this was his "I belong in the NFL" moment. Instead, what we got was a display of hesitation, checkdowns, and third-down failures that left everyone shaking their heads. 3 completions on 15 third-down attempts. That's not just underperformance. That's a glaring spotlight on limitations that have been bubbling under the surface for weeks. And while Stefanski tried to defend him with talk about progressions, self-awareness, and facing a very good pass defense, fans saw something different. They saw opportunities slipping away, a quarterback unable to rise to the occasion when it mattered most. Meanwhile, on the sideline, Shedeur Sanders sat, calm and collected, the very picture of readiness. College football fans know what he can do, shredding defenses, making NFL-caliber throws, thriving under intense scrutiny, and handling pressure that would crush most rookies. And now, the whispers that started online, on social media, and in sports bars around Ohio are louder than ever. Why isn't he playing? This isn't just about one game. It's about the growing tension between fan expectations, media pressure, and the decisions of a coach trying to protect his players while navigating a controversial season. Every checkdown Dillon throws, every missed opportunity, and every hesitant moment feeds the narrative that Cleveland might be sitting on a star while wasting precious time with a quarterback who maxes out at mediocrity. And here's the kicker. This controversy is far from over. Mary Kay Kitt's comments weren't just a hot take, they were a spark. A signal that the Browns, the fans, and the media are all questioning the direction of the team. The clock is ticking, the stakes are rising, and somewhere in that facility, Shedeur Sanders is waiting for the moment that could change everything. And trust me, that moment is coming sooner than anyone thinks. Dillon Gabriel stepped onto the field with one mission: prove that he belonged in the NFL. But from the very first drive, it was clear that something wasn't clicking. The kid looked tentative, hesitant, and frankly, uncomfortable under pressure. Third downs became a nightmare, 3 completions on 15 attempts. That's a 20% conversion rate on the most critical moments of the game, the ones that decide wins and losses. And it wasn't just numbers, it was the way he played. Checkdown after checkdown, rolling outside the pocket constantly just to see over the offensive line. He wasn't attacking defenses, he was avoiding them. Against the Vikings, the blueprint was simple. Cloud the outside, force Dillon to stay in the pocket, and make him throw tight window passes. And guess what? It worked. What looked manageable in preseason turned into chaos when defenders tightened coverage and applied real pressure. Plays that should have gained chunks of yardage fizzled out into short throws to running backs or incomplete passes. Wide receivers like Jerry Jeudy, who were supposed to be the go-to weapons, barely saw the ball. Meanwhile, tight ends and checkdown targets absorbed most of the action, not because of strategy, but because Dillon didn't have the confidence or vision to stretch the field. Fans noticed immediately. Social media lit up with frustration. "Can Dillon throw more than 5-10 yards?" one tweet read. "He maxes out at checkdowns," another complained. And these aren't casual observers. These are people who know football, who have studied every throw, every third down attempt, and every missed opportunity. They saw a quarterback who couldn't convert when it mattered most, a quarterback who made the Vikings look comfortable while he struggled to even look downfield. Coaches tried to defend him, talking about progressions, facing a very good pass defense, and Dillon's supposed self-awareness. But the reality is impossible to ignore. Game after game, third down after third down, Dillon failed to deliver in the clutch moments. And while Stefanski's words might sound reassuring to some, the fans see through them. They see missed chances, wasted drives, and a quarterback who is not yet, or maybe never will be, the long-term answer for Cleveland. The result? A growing frustration that's not just limited to the stands. Media insiders, locker room voices, and even casual observers are starting to ask the same question. If Dylan can't get it done, who can? And that question leads directly to one name, Shedeur Sanders. After the game, all eyes turned to Kevin Stefanski, and the tension in the press room was palpable. Reporters circled like sharks, each one waiting for him to explain what went wrong, to justify the quarterback play, or to reveal whether Dylan Gabriel would ever be trusted in high-pressure situations. And Stefanski did what he always does. He defended his player. He talked about progressions, about how Dylan navigated a very good pass defense, and how self-aware he was on the field. On paper, it sounded like a reasonable defense, but anyone watching closely could see the cracks. Because here's the reality. Stefanski's words were all about protecting his quarterback, not about addressing the problem. Dylan's third-down struggles weren't a matter of facing a tough defense. They were a result of fundamental limitations that had been exposed repeatedly. Yet Stefanski stood at that podium, carefully choosing his phrases, emphasizing effort and situational awareness, and giving fans and media the impression that progress, not performance, was the story. It was classic coach speak, polished and measured, but it did little to soothe a fan base that had watched drive after drive fall apart. He talked about situational football, first and second down efficiency, and creating manageable third downs. And while that's part of any game plan, it couldn't mask the fact that Dylan failed in the moments that mattered most. Checkdowns, rolls out of the pocket, short passes. These were the plays Stefanski highlighted as signs of competence, yet they were precisely the plays frustrating fans, media, and even teammates. The disconnect between coach and reality couldn't have been clearer. At the same time, Stefanski's defense reveals a coach trying to balance multiple pressures, maintaining player confidence, protecting his reputation, and managing the optics of a controversial season. He's navigating the storm, but each carefully worded answer feels like a bandage over a much larger wound. The room senses it. The fans sense it. And so does the media, including insiders like Mary Kay Kitt, who aren't buying the narrative. The key takeaway: Stefanski's defense may have bought Dylan Gabriel a little time, but it hasn't addressed the core issue. A quarterback who struggles under pressure while a far more capable option sits idle. And with Shedeur Sanders waiting in the wings, the clock is ticking on Stefanski's patience and credibility. Fans aren't just watching the plays, they're watching the decisions. And every word Stefanski utters only raises the question louder. When will he finally give Sanders a chance to prove he's the future? While all eyes were glued to Dylan Gabriel's struggles, Shedeur Sanders sat on the sideline, calm, collected, and ready. College fans already knew what he could do, but now, watching him in the NFL environment, the contrast was impossible to ignore. Shedeur isn't just a talented quarterback, he's a quarterback who has been groomed for this pressure his entire life. Playing under the shadow of his legendary father, Deion Sanders, he's learned to handle scrutiny, criticism, and expectations most rookies can't even imagine. At Colorado, Shedeur shredded defenses that were built to stop him. He didn't have the luxury of a perfect offensive line or a balanced run game. Every play required him to adapt, read defenses, and make precise decisions on the fly. Yet he thrived. Every game was under the microscope, with ESPN cameras, analysts, and sports commentators dissecting every throw. And through it all, he delivered. This isn't hype. This is experience and preparation translating into results. Dylan Gabriel, by contrast, struggled against the Vikings with a decent offensive line and weapons that were clearly open. The difference was stark.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button.
It's not just about talent. Shedeur brings confidence, poise, and football IQ that instantly changes the dynamic of a team. He can see over the line, make accurate throws from the pocket, and attack defenses vertically. Where Dylan relies on checkdowns and rolling out under pressure, Shedeur's presence alone forces defensive coordinators to rethink their game plan. He's not just another quarterback, he's a weapon that transforms the offense. Fans recognize this, and the media does too. Social platforms exploded with comparisons, debates, and frustration. The narrative is clear. Cleveland might have a future star sitting on the bench while games slip away. Mary Kay Kitt's comments only amplified that feeling. This isn't just speculation. Insiders are noticing it too. Shedeur has been ready, waiting for the opportunity to step in, and every misstep by Gabriel increases the pressure. The clock is ticking, and the questions are piling up. When will Stefanski give Shedeur the chance to show what he can do? Can he handle the spotlight and prove himself as the Browns' quarterback of the future? And perhaps most importantly, how much longer will the team risk mediocrity while the real weapon waits silently on the sidelines? This is the untapped potential, the spark that could change everything, and it's only a matter of time before the world gets to see it unleashed. As Dillon Gabriel struggled on the field, the pressure wasn't just coming from the defensive line. It was coming from every corner of Cleveland and beyond. Fans, analysts, and insiders all had the same question on their minds. Why isn't Shedeur Sanders playing? Social media erupted instantly. Twitter threads filled with frustration, highlight clips showing Gabriel's hesitation, and fan commentary calling out every checkdown and missed opportunity. Can Dillon throw more than 5-10 yards? One fan wrote, "Shedeur would have shredded them," another chimed in. The backlash wasn't just loud, it was unanimous. Mary Kay Kitt's post-game comments fanned the flames. She didn't hold back, saying Dillon couldn't finish the job and implying that Shedeur should be the one leading the offense. This wasn't a casual observation or a hot take, it was a signal. She knows the locker room, the team dynamics, and the fan pulse. When she speaks, it resonates fast. Headlines, forums, and sports bars across Ohio echoed her sentiment. Every Browns fan reading her comments immediately felt the frustration, the anger, the sense that the team might be wasting precious time with a quarterback who isn't equipped to handle the pressure. Insiders, too, were sensing it. Media members covering the Browns day in and day out could see what casual viewers might miss: the growing tension between the coach, the players, and the front office. Analysts like Tony Gee pointed out inconsistencies in quarterback play, questionable play calling, and how every misstep feeds the narrative that a change is coming. The story isn't just about one game, it's about a fan base and a media ecosystem pushing for accountability. Even veteran players in the locker room aren't immune. They see the difference between a quarterback who struggles to get the ball downfield and one who can make NFL-caliber throws under pressure. And when fans, media, and insiders all align, it creates a pressure cooker environment. Kevin Stefanski feels it. The front office feels it. And Dillon Gabriel certainly feels it too, even if he won't admit it publicly. The combined weight of fans' frustration, media scrutiny, and internal tension is building to a breaking point. Every incomplete pass, every hesitant throw, every failed third-down conversion feeds the story that Cleveland might be sitting on a potential star, Shedeur Sanders, while watching opportunities slip away. And the louder the chatter grows, the more it becomes clear. The Browns may no longer have the luxury of waiting. The media and the fans aren't just watching, they're demanding a change. While fans and media were losing their minds, the real drama was unfolding behind closed doors. Inside the Browns' facility, tensions were high, and every conversation felt like it carried weight. Veteran players were frustrated. They'd seen too many games slip away due to questionable quarterback play, and while they respect Dillon Gabriel's effort alone doesn't win NFL games. Jerry Jeudy, one of the team's top receiving weapons, isn't thrilled catching just 5 passes while tight ends rack up double-digit catches. And it's not just the offense. Defensive players want to go all out knowing their team can actually score when it matters. Watching drives stall and opportunities squandered breeds quiet resentment. Meanwhile, the front office is feeling the pressure from multiple angles. Ticket sales and fan engagement metrics are under scrutiny. Social media sentiment is trending negative. National coverage is questioning why the Browns are sitting on a potentially superior quarterback. Every loss, every questionable decision, every missed third-down conversion amplifies the narrative. The team may be prioritizing comfort over talent. And inside that building, the hierarchy feels it too. Ownership, coaches, and staff are all aware that the fans, media, and even the players are slowly aligning against the status quo. Kevin Stefanski, of course, is navigating this pressure while trying to maintain control. He's protecting his players, defending his choices, and giving carefully worded answers in press conferences. But his words only mask what everyone inside knows. The tension is real, and the window for making the right decisions is shrinking fast. Every defensive adjustment, every offensive misstep, and every fan complaint adds to the pile, and it's only a matter of time before someone snaps. Shedeur Sanders sits in the middle of all this, a silent storm waiting for the right moment. He's been prepared, trained, and tested for high-pressure situations his entire life. Unlike Dylan, who is navigating rookie growing pains, Shedeur knows how to handle scrutiny and perform under a microscope. Everyone, players, coaches, and fans can see it. The contrast is impossible to ignore. The result, a pressure cooker situation that's reaching its boiling point. Every misstep by Dylan Gabriel, every deflection from Stefanski, and every frustrated media headline increases the odds that change is inevitable. The question isn't if something will happen, it's when. And the entire organization, from locker room to front office, knows the clock is ticking. The tension behind the scenes isn't just a subplot, it's the story itself, and it's building toward a moment that could redefine the Browns' season. The Vikings game wasn't just another loss. It was a series of missed opportunities, and nowhere was that more evident than on Cleveland's critical drives. Let's break it down. Late in the fourth quarter, the Browns had the ball with a chance to seal the game. Down by just a few points, the stadium in London was electric, fans on edge, and the team had one shot to turn the tide. Instead, what happened? Checkdown after checkdown, conservative plays, and an inability to challenge the defense vertically. The blueprint was simple. Move the chains, create manageable third downs, and put pressure on the Vikings' secondary. Dylan Gabriel failed to execute. Third downs, the most critical situations in the game, became a nightmare. 3 completions on 15 attempts, 3 of 15. That's not just a rough patch, that's a glaring failure at the moments that matter most. And it wasn't luck or randomness. The Vikings were stacking the box, forcing Gabriel to make tight window throws, and his hesitation and lack of confidence showed. Drives that should have been extended ended abruptly. Momentum that could have shifted the game fizzled out, and the Browns were left scrambling to find any offensive rhythm. Meanwhile, the defense did its job. They kept Cleveland in the game, giving the offense multiple chances to take control. And yet, with opportunities staring them in the face, Dylan's inability to push the ball downfield or make decisive reads turned potential victories into frustration. Every checkdown and rollout that worked in preseason became predictable and ineffective against a disciplined defense. The contrast was stark. The playbook was there, the weapons were there, but the quarterback couldn't deliver when it mattered most. And this is where the Shedeur Sanders angle becomes even more glaring. Watching from the sideline, Sanders had already shown in college that he thrives under pressure, can dissect defenses, and make NFL-level throws even in hostile environments. Every failed third down attempt by Gabriel, every stalled drive, only magnifies the question: why isn't the team giving Sanders a chance to lead? The critical drives of this game aren't just about stats. They tell the story of hesitation, limitations, and squandered chances. They highlight the difference between a quarterback playing within his comfort zone and one ready to take over a franchise. Cleveland fans, media, and insiders saw the gap clearly, and the pressure is mounting. The game wasn't just lost on the scoreboard. It was lost in execution, and it left everyone asking the same question: how much longer will the Browns wait before making the change that feels inevitable? The Vikings' loss wasn't just another L in the column. It was a statement. For Kevin Stefanski, the stakes are higher than ever. The Browns are watching every game, every decision, and every play unfold under a microscope, and the fans are losing patience fast. Dylan Gabriel's struggles have made one thing crystal clear. If the team wants to compete, changes are inevitable. And the tension isn't just on the field. It's in the locker room, in the front office, and all across Cleveland. Social media and fan forums are ablaze. Every incomplete pass, every stalled drive, every missed opportunity fuels the growing narrative. Shedeur Sanders isn't just an option, he may be the answer. Mary Kay Kitt's post-game remarks didn't just highlight a problem, they acted as a catalyst. Her words amplified what fans and insiders already suspected. The Browns have a potential superstar sitting on the sidelines while games slip away. The pressure is no longer subtle, it's impossible to ignore. For Stefanski, this isn't just about defending a rookie quarterback. It's about navigating a high-stakes environment where every decision is scrutinized. Ownership is watching ticket sales, social engagement, and national headlines. The locker room is watching every call and every hesitation. And Dillon Gabriel is feeling the pressure too, whether he admits it or not. Every misstep is magnified, every failure becomes fodder for debate, and every game adds to the urgency of finding a solution. And that solution is staring everyone in the face. Shedeur Sanders. He's ready. He's proven under pressure. He can see over the line, make accurate throws, and attack defenses vertically. He's been preparing for this moment his entire life, and yet he waits while the team clings to a quarterback who can't consistently deliver. The fans know it. The media knows it. Even some insiders can't ignore it. The narrative is building to a tipping point. The Browns' schedule doesn't get easier, and defensive coordinators around the league have already seen Dillon's weaknesses. Every week that passes without Sanders playing only increases the risk of another frustrating loss. The question is if the change will happen, it's when. The stakes are enormous. Playoff hopes, fan loyalty, coaching credibility, and the future of the franchise itself. Cleveland is at a crossroads, and the next few weeks could define an entire era. One thing is certain, the story isn't over. Dillon Gabriel's struggles have set the stage, the fans are demanding action, and Shedeur Sanders is ready to answer the call. The countdown is on, and everyone is waiting to see if Cleveland will finally unleash its potential. So, where does all of this leave the Browns? One thing is clear. The quarterback situation is at a breaking point. Dillon Gabriel has shown glimpses, but the glaring limitations on critical drives, the inability to consistently challenge defenses downfield, and the mounting frustration from fans and media make one thing obvious: change is looming. The question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders can play, it's when he will finally get the chance to prove himself. Fans are already taking sides. Social media is split between Team Dillon and Team Shedeur, and the debates are intense. Every third-down failure sparks threads filled with frustration, analysis, and speculation about the next move. Mary Kay Kitt's post-game commentary didn't just critique Gabriel, it gave a voice to the fan base, and that voice is growing louder by the week. The pressure isn't just external. Inside the facility, players, coaches, and front office personnel are all aware that something has to give. The longer this limbo continues, the more tension builds, and the higher the stakes become for every decision. For Stefanski, this is a test of leadership under pressure. Protecting players, maintaining confidence, and staying loyal is part of the job. But when results aren't coming, when the fan base is revolting, and when the media is relentless, the luxury of patience disappears. Every play, every press conference, every missed opportunity is adding fuel to the fire. And for Gabriel, this is a defining moment in his young career. He's in the spotlight, facing scrutiny that could make or break perceptions of his potential in the league. Then there's Shedeur Sanders, the untapped weapon. He's been waiting patiently, prepared for the moment when the spotlight shifts. Fans and insiders alike know his talent, his poise, and his ability to handle the pressure. When the call comes, he has the chance to not just prove his worth, but to change the narrative entirely. Whether he succeeds or struggles, the answers will be undeniable, and the franchise will have clarity about its future. Now it's your turn. What do you think will happen next? Will the Browns finally make the switch and give Shedeur Sanders the keys, or will Dillon Gabriel get another shot to prove he's the answer? How many more losses will it take before the inevitable change happens? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This conversation isn't over, and we want to hear your take. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this quarterback saga is far from finished, and you won't want to miss what happens next. The clock is ticking, the pressure is building, and Cleveland is watching. Who will rise and who will fall?
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.